Who do you think is better, Michael Jordan or yourself?
I will never say I'm better than Michael because in all honesty, he's taught me so many things by observation and also through conversation. I would never say that just because I learned so much from him. It's just, it's a non-conversation for me.
Damn. Every time I watch that clip, it makes me emotional, fam. When I think about Kobe and his growth and his relationship with MJ, it's really truly amazing. Do you understand? He got to drop 55 on the GOAT, his idol. Like, that's something every basketball kid dreams about. Like, that's crazy. It reminds me of the old Kung Fu movies where the student has one last test to defeat the master, and then he goes on to conquer his destiny. This morning, after I cooked breakfast for my dad, I was on the tube messing around and I came across a video from Carmelo on his 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast. And, you know, Carmelo was talking about Jordan and the nuggets of wisdom he gave him during the time that they spent together when he first came into the league and things of that nature. And it reminded me of the stories Kobe shared with the world about when he first came into the league and what he learned from Mike and things of that nature. And all I could do was nod in admiration for Jordan. You know, when I read 90% of the comments on this channel, and I read comments from other channels that feature Jordan content. The disrespect, the lack of integrity, and the lack of understanding, it's a real thing, fam. It's a real thing. Kobe Bryant is a top 5, top 10 all-time player, period. Carmelo Anthony is among the top 75 greatest NBA players that ever touched the hardwood. When you talk about influence, are you kidding me? Oh man. Listen, how do people even fix their mouths to disrespect a man who has had such a powerful handprint on many of the top players in the history of the game? It's mind-boggling, the disrespect and the ignorance and the lack of knowledge. He gave us the wagging tongue. He gave us the aerial assault. He gave us the inhuman hang time. The world's greatest assassin on a basketball court, fam. But you know what I realized? No one ever talks about, and what they never really focus on, is the genius intellect Jordan operated with while showcasing all of these amazing abilities that he had. The supreme level of self-awareness, team awareness, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of everybody on the court in real time. You know, constantly hear about this player and that player having the highest IQ in basketball. Okay. And then it hit. How freaking smart is a player who dominates on both offense and defense? Nah, maybe that player, that's the highest IQ of basketball, fan. Now, let's keep it real. This is in your face hoops, so we don't duck the smoke over here. It's in your face, right? Let's be honest, as a team owner, team builder, Jordan was less than stellar, shall I say. Now, his basketball prowess, it didn't translate into building a winning franchise because the Hornets were trash for years. Let's keep it a buck. But if a man flips his investment into a couple billion, I gotta say, fam, that's smart as hell. All right, but let me get out the way because I want you to hear from the great players themselves. Shout out to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, to the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast and the other interviews shown. Let's listen to the legends speak, and when we come back, we'll wrap it up.
This is a fun game for me.
Everybody's talking about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Oh, well, this is the matchup that everybody's been waiting to see.
I learned a lot this game. A lot about how technically sound Michael was. Because it's one thing in watching him play, and then it's another thing in playing against him.
He's now in a postgraduate course.
Yeah, boy. Accelerated learning.
His technique was flawless. I wanted to make sure my technique was just as flawless.
Been down a half court, and he wanted to know how, when I turn around on my jump shot, how to feel the defense. I told him you should feel the defense with your legs. Once you feel the defense with your legs, you can take advantage of that.
That was very inspiring for me.
I had the fortune to play against Michael Jordan in his last All-Star game when he was a Wizard. And Mariah Carey sang and all these different things. She was wearing the Wizard's dress and everything like that. But I got a chance to spend time with Michael Jordan, and we played one-on-one. You know how you're before the layup line and different things like that. And I always knew Michael Jordan was great. But when I chatted with him and he was able to break down my game analytically, Jamal, you like to go left 80% of the time, pull up with the right hand and different things like that. But then he gave me a solution. Go right 2 or 3 times in the game, and then gave me a story. He said, Dr. J and Larry Bird passed something down to me to play the game within the game. And I said, well, what are you referencing? He was like, well, in the game sometimes, I'm not just going to score. It's how I'm going to score. So Jamal, if you go right 2 or 3 times in the game and you make a pull-up jump shot or right-hand layup or whatever it is, you're balancing out your game. You're keeping the defense off balance. And this man went through every All-Star and chatted about what their strength and weaknesses off the top of his head. And I sat there and I was like, I thought I knew a lot about basketball, but he's on a different level from how he looks at it, scouts it, observes it, implements it. And that, I want to say probably 6 or 7 games after the All-Star break, I implemented that, scored 50 on the Memphis Grizzlies just by turning the other way. And he was like, and we saw him again playing the Wizards, and I think he had 40 or something and I had 39. And he was like, damn, I gave you some stuff to think about and you implemented. I was like, yeah, I really appreciate it. But just
It was about that shit too, like the spots and like the
I just told you. Before I told you, he taught me how to the psychological aspect of how to score, how to break down scoring.
Oh, okay. I thought it was psychological, like because Mike is everybody already knows, like Mike was like a killer.
It's different because he knew how to depict games and like pick games apart and like see, you know what I mean? Like individually. So like when I got with him, it was more individualized and catered to my game. And like, okay, here's how I see the game, your game. Mm-hmm. Here's what I can give you to add to that. You dealing with it in quick time though. This is how you do it. And it's like, check up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
he not holding your hand through it. He's just like,
like, no, we gonna talk about it, but we gonna check up. Let's go, check up. So
let's get to it, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the greatest player ever, bro. He is second to none. This is my second year in the league. We got a couple new players. I'm young. We got a couple older guys. I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I'm kind of deferring a little bit. I guess he kind of realized it. So he called me in the office. Man, he closed the door. I'm like, what's going on? So he looked me in my face. He like, I didn't bring you here to defer. I drafted you myself. I want you to be aggressive. I want you to play like you play that UConn. I'm like, bet.
Say less.
That was it. He gave me the keys right there. I'm like, that's what I need to hear, especially from you. I ain't gonna lie. In my head, I'm like, I ain't letting this.
I didn't even know how that moment really was gonna hit, even when we got named to the team. But the moment when we walked in the room and you actually saw Kareem, you actually saw Jerry West, Magic. You were like, oh, I'm on this team.
It was a lot of shit talking in there too.
The shit talking in the room was crazy, but the moment was when MJ came in that mother.
We talking about aura.
Let me tell you something. When he walked through, everything changed. Man, when MJ came in and get silence, everybody was like, oh.
He's sizing
Right
niggas
away.
up from the tunnel.
Right away.
Man, I'd bust your ass. Like, he's sizing everybody up.
You saw the clip with him and Magic that went viral, right? That was right away. I was just sitting there and I'm like, I'm listening to Jordan and Magic talk shit.
Really talk shit, though.
Put your sneaks on, let's go right now.
I'll tell your ass something right now.
Oh, they serious.
Melo get any run with Mike, and what was his game like up close?
I just remember watching him, like, just, you know, like as a basketball player, damn, he just looked so different. He's not MJ of old. Like, he's not MJ flying through the air, but the game looks so easy to him. He just catch it in 2 dribbles, right, shot fake, boom, get to the rack, 1 dribble, has he pull, boom, 20. I'm like, damn, it's like MJ he just picking his spots, and they can't do shit about it.
About your relationship with Michael Jordan. Let me straighten this out first. The time at the Forum or wherever that was, Phil had Michael come to the game and sat at the table. You remember that? I read somewhere where it said that you didn't challenge him or he didn't challenge you. It didn't happen. It did happen because I was sitting right there at the table, right at the table. So Phil asked Michael if he wasn't doing anything, just come by practice, maybe to want to play. Maybe we can find out what you got. And then you said back, no, maybe I'll find out what you got. And then he said back, well, you can't guard me. And then you said, you can't guard me. Right. How old were you?
21.
You were 21 years old. There was a silent moment. And then when we walked out, when we walked down the hall, Mike goes, I love that dude, man. He's a warrior. Because you did not step back. It's like, well, maybe we'll see. Let's play. Right. When we can play tomorrow, I got shoes.
That's a foul all day long. Oh, I know you ain't talking. I know you ain't talking. Hey, you only got 3 now. I get 6. I would get that foul. You only got 3 now.
I grew up watching him, and I grew up having that same type of edge and competitiveness.
I know where you're going. You gotta get up quick. If you knew where I was going, why you go for the fake? Mike, after you fake the ball, where else you gonna go? You left your feet. Yeah, but where else you gonna go? In the game, I go for you. I spun all the way around. I go for these ribs right here.
Michael and I both know there's certain players that we can intimidate. Certain players are afraid.
4, 3, 2. That's all right. Hey, I shoot them better when the clock going down.
But every now and then, you run into a player that has the same DNA that you do, has the same competitive spirit that you do. And you quickly realize that the bullying and the trash talking is not going to work with this person.
I can guard you one-on-one.
You get what?
It's nothing.
Oh, now I know you lost your mind. You think you scoring? Yeah. What makes you think that?
That I can score on you?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty confident I can score.
Why? Because you don't talk yourself into getting 50 dropped on you.
Have you run into anybody playing today, younger players, that have that same fire, that same passion that you have for the game?
Westbrook plays mean.
Oh, with a vicious slam!
He played mean like I did, with an aggression. Much the way I play.
You know, I can watch this stuff over and over again. It doesn't get old to me. These stories and inside perspectives are golden, fam. What we just listened to are things, 3-point percentages, rebounding averages, assist averages cannot give you. Did you hear what Monster Mash said? And if you don't know about Jamal Mashburn, fan, you need to look him up. He was a 6'8" beast that could shoot outside of 3 feet. Jordan gave him some tips, and he went and dropped 50 the next game. That's gangster, all right? Did you hear what he said about what happened during the All-Star game, how Jordan was able to recall off the top of his head the good, the bad, and the ugly about his game, right? And then all of the other All-Stars, and then give them tips. That, like, you gotta be a freaking computer to be able to store that info. Like, that's crazy. Carmelo, Kobe, even Kemba Walker. Do you understand when I listen to these idiots say, Jordan couldn't shoot threes, Jordan couldn't pass, he couldn't go left? It's like, Are you so desperate to put your guy on top that logic leaves the brain? These people are sad and pathetic, fam. And salute to Russell Westbrook. Kobe mentioned him out of all the other players who were playing at the time. Take note. I'm also starting to believe he was sabotaged on purpose because he was favored by Kobe and Mike. Things that make you go, Anyway, get in the comments, fam. Turn up the volume. Where do you think Jordan's IQ for the game lands? Where does it land for you? And based on what these legends have said, go IQ for me, fam. Period. On your way out, can you do the channel a big favor, fam? Hit the like button. It is free and it really helps promote the video. I appreciate you taking the time to chop it up with me and your face hoops. Till the next video, be safe and God bless.